Hello everyone, my name is Tim Silverwood. I'm one of the co-founders of Ocean Impact Organisation, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here today for this fundamentally important moment when we announce the winners of the Ocean Impact Pitchfest 2021 and of course the HP Generation Impact Incubator. I'm going to be joined virtually by a range of our partners and supporters to help reveal the results of this campaign that ran for 7 weeks on a mission to find and support the best startups working to improve the health of planet Ocean. Now, before we get too carried away with today's event, I'd like to acknowledge country, to acknowledge that today we are joining you from the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We now know the city as Sydney, Australia, but it was and always will be Aboriginal land. So it's very important to acknowledge past, present and future elders and to comment that sovereignty of this land was never ceded. Now, the Ocean Impact Pitchfest 2021 campaign simply could not be possible without the support of OIO and our partners and supporters. Now, of course, the big ones this year, the Pitchfest presenting partners are Bank Australia and HP Australia, and they're also both major partners of Ocean Impact Organisation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have this year the various Spotlight Award categories. So I'd like to send a very big thank you to the Plastic Pollution Solution Spotlight Award sponsor, Zip Water. The Sustainable Ocean Harvesting Spotlight Award, this year presented by Austral Fisheries. The Ocean Monitoring Spotlight Award, presented by Dicker Data. And the Climate Spotlight Award that was this year presented by OIO's philanthropic community. Now, speaking of OIO's philanthropic community, we'd also like to send a big thank you to a number of donors who contributed to make this year's Pitchfest cash prize pool so significant. A big thank you to the Ryan Cooper Family Foundation. A big thank you to the Auxilium Foundation, our founding member, John Preston, coming up with the goods on that one. And of course, the Pryor Family Foundation. Thank you so much, David Pryor. Now, there's also a lot of other partners and supporters behind the scenes of OIO, so I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the Pitchfest Partner Network for offering up a range of in-kind products and support and for sharing the news so far and wide. We simply would not get this response were it not for you. And we have 12 judges this year who helped to make sure that the selection process and the voting was of a very high standard and high calibre. So a big thank you to Richard Leck, Head of Oceans at WWF Australia, June Ives, who is the CEO of Lonely Whale, Michael Boyle, the Managing Director of HP Australia and New Zealand, Fiona Nixon, the Head of Strategy and Communications at Bank Australia, Sally Ann Williams, the CEO of Cicada Innovations, Christian Lim, the Managing Director at Swen Blue Ocean Partners, Vanessa Fayens-Turner, a Principal at Investable Oceans, Professor Peter Steinberg, Professor of Biology at UNSW and also a Director of OIO, Rob Kaplan, the Founder and CEO of Circulate Capital, Jazz Chambers, who's the co-convener of the Ocean Decade Australia, David Carter, who's the CEO of Austral Fisheries, and Joanne Howarth, who is the founder and CEO of Planet Protector Packaging, who you might recall were the winners of last year's Ocean Impact Pitchfest 2020. Now, that's about enough for me for now. We are going to hand over to my co-founder and the CEO of Ocean Impact Organisation, Nick Shirelli, for some of his words.
Hi, everyone. Nick Shirelli, CEO of Ocean Impact Organisation here. Thanking you for joining us for what's been a great second year of the Ocean Impact Pitchfest. With COP26 kicking off this week in Glasgow, there's no better time to remind ourselves of the importance of a healthy ocean and its potential to help us fight climate change if we look after it. The Pitchfest 2021 campaign has been tremendously successful, with 215 fantastic applications from 45 countries. In addition, this year we partnered with HP Australia to launch the HP Generation Impact Incubator, which saw more than another 80 applications from budding young Australian entrepreneurs. In 2021, we saw a huge increase in the number of Pitchfest applications from later stage startups scaling up or on the verge of scaling up their Ocean Impact solutions. In the 2 years since launching, we have seen the global ocean impact landscape develop rapidly, with more startups being uncovered and far more investor interest. In fact, applicants to Pitchfest 2021 have raised a combined total of more than $350 million of investment capital versus $65 million in 2020. This is a really solid increase, but we need even more support and capital if we're to successfully transform ocean health. Along with other groups around the world, we'll keep working hard to make sure this happens. Lastly, from me, I'd like to thank our major partners, Bank Australia and HP Australia. Thank you to our philanthropic cash prize sponsors, the Ryan Cooper Family Foundation, the Pryor Family Foundation and Auxilium Foundation. And thank you also to our Spotlight Award sponsors, Zip Water, Austral Fisheries, Dicadata, and OIO's philanthropic community. We wouldn't exist and couldn't do this without your support, so thank you very much. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much for those words, Nick, and for all that you do for our organisation and our mission. So just to set the stage of what you can expect from here, we are going to be running through the 4 Spotlight Award categories first up. Then we're going to be hearing who is the winner of the HP Generation Impact Incubator. And at the very end, we're going to find out who are those champions recognised in the top of the Ocean Impact Pitchfest 2021. I'd like to thank you all, our Ocean Impact organisation community, for tuning in and for supporting our work. Now the exciting news begins.